What's good, BitRushers? As many of you know, the Bitcoin halving is upon us, and it's about to happen on April 20th, 2024. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what the halving actually means for both the supply and the price of Bitcoin, as well as all of the major narratives happening right now in the Bitcoin ecosystem, including Ordinals, BRC20s, rare sats, and the upcoming runes. If that all sounds good, stick around and let's roll the video. So the first thing you need to understand about the Bitcoin halving is its implications on the supply. I've seen a lot of misinformation out there on the internet from people that don't quite understand what the halving is. I've seen people saying the price of Bitcoin is going to be cut in half. I've seen other people saying that the supply of Bitcoin is going to be cut in half. Both of those are completely wrong. So first thing is that Bitcoin does have a fixed supply. It's built to be a deflationary asset. And so at most, only ever 21 million Bitcoin can ever be created, which is the exact opposite of fiat currencies in most countries where they just continue to print and the value of your dollars continues to go down as the supply goes up. So with Bitcoin, we do have a capped supply at 21 million Bitcoin. Now, the way the network is secured is through the crypto miners, the Bitcoin miners. They solve complex mathematical equations, and the winner that solves that equation gets the block reward, which is where the new Bitcoins come from. Now, eventually, when they run out of new Bitcoin being created, the miners will only get the actual transaction fees. So you also pay a transaction fee, and those are also split amongst the miners. As the block is written to the blockchain, all of those fees included in that block get split amongst the miners. Okay, so as a deflationary asset, every 4 years we have what's called the halving. Now, on the halving event marks when the amount of new Bitcoin supply created by the miners gets cut in half. So the normal supply is going to stay the same. It's actually going to continue to grow up to that 21 million tokens. However, the new Bitcoin being created with each block will be cut in half. And so this is a deflationary event. The less new supply being created drives up the price and value of the Bitcoin. It's basic economics, supply and demand. The demand stays the same or increases, and the supply of new Bitcoin is being cut in half. Okay, so that's basically what the halving event is the day. It happens every single 4 years where the amount of new Bitcoin will be cut in half. If you want to take your investing to the next level, you need to have a solid understanding of blockchain, the technology that underpins most cryptocurrencies. With our Crypto Mastery course, you'll learn everything you need to become an educated investor. Included are 8 in-depth lessons, a one-on-one consultation, and lots of bonuses. You can find a link in the description below to claim your special discount. Now, as you guys can see on the screen behind me here, I do have the stock to flow model. What this stock to flow model is essentially just like has a mathematical simulation of the price in correlation to the supply of Bitcoin, and it's based on the past events. So we can see coming all the way back here to 2010 when they first started tracking this for the stock to flow model. Okay, so this color chart here is the number of days until the halving event, and dark blue is basically 0, and we're basically right there. Now you can see at that blue event, the next couple months or year here, we do go right up. Here again, we go up, and again, the last bull cycle went up, had a little dip and went up again. Sometimes we have that little double dip, triple dip here, as you guys can see. So this line is the actual model, and these dots are the price as of that day on, in time and history, whatever, it marks the price. And so today we can see, we're here somewhere around 60 something thousand. I think it's like 62, 63,000. And the value based on the model for today is 120,000. So we're under that current stock to flow model. Now, this is very important. If you want to trade Bitcoin or invest long term, you need to understand the 4-year cycle. And essentially, at the halving is the start of the bull run. Generally, it's like 500 days or about a year and a half after the halving to when we peak out in the market and we have these big blow off tops. Okay, so we're not going to get into all that right now because we're just at the beginning of the cycle. Later on in the cycle, sometimes next year, we'll talk about, possibly a blow off top and maybe taking profits. But right now, we're just getting started. This party is just getting started. So if any of you were watching my channel during the last bull run, 19 to 20 to 2021, it was absolutely an amazing time in crypto in history. Me personally, in my life, those are some of the best years I had. It was just fun every single day, just making tons of money, price go up, number go up, all that stuff. Lots of great opportunities. I met a lot of great people. So the bull run is generally a very fun and euphoric time. Those year and a half throughout that bull run is generally a great time to be an investor in cryptocurrency. However, if we do look back, you can see the actual best time to invest is obviously when the price is down. So again, once we get into the next bear market, we'll talk about that. But you guys coming into this know that there will be an end, a top on the cycle, and then it will go down and you will have an opportunity to get back in before the next bull run. So hopefully you guys have already accumulated, built up your bags at this point. And if not, it's not too late. As you can see, the blue is just the start. Obviously we have gains before the blue on all of these. However, from the blue, it still does kick off. Now, at the end of the cycle here, what we're looking at is 1.2 million on the stock to flow model for the prediction. Last bull run, it was predicted a little over 100,000. We only got to like 70,000, 69,000. So we only got about 70% to the stock to flow model. I'm going to say because the prices are increasing so much that my safe estimate is this time we're only going to get to about 50% of what we did last time. And so that would be about 35% of what the stock to flow model has. Obviously, I do think we could get much higher than that, but that's just my very safe low end estimate prediction. And that would be about 350,000, put us right about here at this mark. So that is going to be my realistic prediction, kind of my I don't want to say bearish prediction, but my conservative estimate of where the price will go this bull run. Obviously not financial advice, but I do think we can see that in the cards. Now, best case scenario, we get all the way up to the top of the stock to flow model over $1 million. And at the very least, we're probably going to pop up over this line into 150, 200K. Okay, again, not financial advice. No one knows what's going to happen, but based on this model and the past 4-year cycles to predict the future, that is kind of, a rough math estimate of where I think we could go and where the model thinks we could go. Now, let's look at the next bull run. Let's say maybe you don't cash out this bull run like a lot of people didn't on the last one. They had to wait for this one. And now we're back up over those all-time previous highs of last bull run, which was 69,000. We beat that recently. We got all the way up to 72,000. And so if you guys don't sell at the top here for whatever reason, you miss out and you end up holding to the next bull run. The next bull run at the bottom, we're looking at around $1 million again. And at the top, we're looking at somewhere around $14 million. So if you're thinking long-term on this, one Bitcoin could potentially go from its price today, $60,000, into, over the next 8 to 10 years, up to over $10 million. Those are absolutely life-changing gains if you can hold on for 8 years. Now, I'm not telling you should hold on, but if you are accumulating and looking at a long-term dollar cost average strategy, that is in the cards here for Bitcoin, and then even up higher and higher, which is why when we do reach that 21 million max, obviously that's way out in the future, but the price of Bitcoin should be so high that just the transaction fees alone should be enough to pay the miners. So that's where we are with Bitcoin right now, what we're looking at for this halving, what the halving means, and the implications on the supply to the market. If you guys have any questions about the halving or, any kind of price stuff, go ahead and jump in my Discord chat or leave me a comment below. I'm happy to answer as many comments as I can in the comments. However, the best way to get at me is in my Discord chat. So just jump in there and ask me a question there. I'm usually in there most days, a couple times a day, answering questions, and we have a good little community growing. I did just start it not that long ago, a few months ago, so it's still fairly small, but definitely a good community in there if you guys want to get involved or just want personal one-on-one access with me. The next thing I want to talk about, which is a big narrative in the crypto industry right now, is rare satoshis. So essentially a satoshi is 1 unit of measurement of a Bitcoin, and that is named after the creator, who is Satoshi Nakamoto. No one knows exactly who he is or where he has gone, as he did disappear several years ago and hasn't tweeted or done anything in the community since that time. However, we did name the 1 unit of Bitcoin after him, the Satoshi. So these rare Satoshis essentially are, there's like uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, mythic. There's also different events. So there's like, different blocks that happen. There's ones that were owned by Satoshi Nakamoto. The pizza Bitcoin, when someone bought a pizza with 10,000 Bitcoin, so you could get Satoshis from that. And a bunch of other stuff. So the best way that you can check is you put in your address or the actual inscription for the Bitcoin that you hold, and you can see you might actually be holding on to a rare Satoshi that could be worth a lot more than it actually has in value in the terms of a Bitcoin, because it's a rare Satoshi. So that's something that's been happening lately. People have been trading and buying these rare Satoshis, and as the price goes up, I only imagine the price of the rare sats become more and more collectible. So before you trade or sell any Bitcoin, you might want to check just to see what you are holding if you do have any of those rare Satoshis. And there's also places where you can buy the rare Satoshis, but we'll cover that a little bit later in the video here when we get on to Ordinals. Next narrative I want to talk about is BRC20 tokens. So essentially they have created like altcoins on the Bitcoin network, and these are called BRC20s, very similar to, if you're familiar with the Ethereum network, the ERC20 tokens. And this is one that I actually invested in. I only put a small amount in. However, I did get in early here on this Bitcoin Dogs. It's a dog meme coin on Bitcoin with the BRC20s. They just recently did a update tweet here, and it says they're in the final stages of planning what's next. So hopefully these will be released very soon. This was the first ICO on Bitcoin BRC20s, they claimed. However, there are other BRC20 tokens out there, and I do kind of predict here that this bull market will see a lot more, especially with the upcoming runes. And we'll talk about runes a little bit later as well, but I just want you to be aware of this. Now, if you want to trade with BRC20s or Ordinals, which are essentially NFTs on the Bitcoin network, you are going to need a wallet that supports that. I recently did a video on the Unisats wallet and how to get it set up and buy like .sats names and mint ordinals and all that good stuff. So you guys can find those 2 videos linked in the description below, along with everything else that we cover in today's video. And it should also be popping up above now. Now there's also another wallet that seems to be the more popular one. I don't have a video on it, but I'll go ahead and link that one in the description as well. So you guys can do a little research and figure out what the best one for you is. However, personally, I am using that Unisats wallet. The next thing we need to cover are runes. Now, runes haven't been released yet, but essentially Bitcoin runes are a new fungible token protocol on Bitcoin. So again, just like BRC20s, it can create essentially altcoins on the Bitcoin network, but with runes, it's a more efficient way to do it. As you can see, it says right here, just a more efficient way of going about doing it rather than inscribing on each Satoshi, which is the way that the current BRC20s and Ordinals work. So it's going to launch a whole like community and ecosystem around altcoins on the Bitcoin network, and also NFTs on the Bitcoin network on the runes protocol here. And a lot of the current, old school BRC20s, call them old school, they're not that old, less than a year. Those are all mostly going to be transferring onto this new protocol. Runes, not all of them, some of them will probably stay BRC20s, but a lot of these ordinals and these BRC20s will most likely transfer over to this new protocol when it launches. So it is something to be aware of, and I'm not going to read through this entire article, but it does go in depth into why it's better on more of like a technical level if you guys are into that sort of thing. And this is from CoinGecko, so fairly reputable source here, and this will be linked in the description as well. But definitely keep Bitcoin runes on your radar, as I do expect this to be a key narrative during the upcoming bull run. And finally, the last thing I want to talk about is the ordinals. So essentially, ordinals are NFTs on the Bitcoin network. Already kind of mentioned that, but if you come to Magic Eden, you can click on, there's different networks here, click on the Bitcoin, and it's going to bring you to pre-runes. So these are all ones that they're anticipating are going to transfer or give you an airdrop on the runes network once that does launch. They also have the rare satoshis that we were talking about earlier. So if you guys are interested in buying or trading any of those, if you figure out that you do have a rare satoshi in your wallet and you want to flip it and make some extra money, or maybe you want to buy one here before the bull run really kicks off, or just keep it as an ultimate collector item, you can buy those here. We also have the regular collection of ordinals, which essentially are just Bitcoin NFTs. They're not actually NFTs because they're inscribed on satoshis. I'm not going to get into all the technicals of it, but in layman's terms, they are NFTs on the Bitcoin network. And there's a bunch of different ones here. Some of those are the same ones that are the pre-rune tokens, but not all of them are. Some of these are anticipated to have airdrops and upcoming things happening this bull run. So definitely do a little bit more research into this. And maybe in the future, I'll do a more in-depth video on all of this. The other thing to keep in mind is that these runes are coming soon in Magic Eden. You can see here, if you click on it, it's not quite live yet, but they are already set up to support it. So I do imagine they'll be one of the very first places to buy and sell runes when they do launch. So a lot of exciting stuff happening here this bull run, guys. I hope you are pumped up and ready to make some sick gains. I know I am. I absolutely can't wait. And, you know, in true Bitcoin crypto fashion, we have the halving happening on 420, which we know is a meme in and of itself. So I'm sure there will be a lot of smoking and celebrating come 420 2024. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment below if you guys want to see any other topics here, or anything I've covered in more in depth. Again, if you want extra access to me and what I'm working on, what I'm trading, go ahead and jump in my Discord chat group. And if you're not already, make sure you are subscribed, because we're going to be having a lot of great content coming this bull run. Turn on that bell so you are notified as soon as the videos drop. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get that coin.